I'm a mystic man.
Are you buying into it?
You mean I'm too old to actually do anything about it?
Are you buying into it? I don't buy into old age.
Yeah, well, that's
personally.
because I'm a time traveler and I haven't even been born yet, so I've
Oh,
got
I
to
see.
get out of jail card.
That's convenient. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Well, how old of a gentleman are you? Because you seem your wits and your mind and your facility seems to be working very well.
Well, I'm 67.
67. So you got 4 years on me. He's got 4 years on me. Man,
Balance scrape, whatever.
Yeah. So you old timers, you know, I
No,
always feel like I need an old timer.
I've got scars on my knuckles from dragging them, actually.
Yeah, okay.
And I've learned how to play that game.
Yeah.
What is become evident to me is that if you want to become spiritually enlightened, you're going to have to do it yourself. And this is probably what our whole message is about. It's time for you to get off the pot.
And take responsibility.
Yeah.
Take responsibility
Personal
for every part.
responsibility.
So responsibility for your water, for your sanitation, for your entertainment, for your fuel, for your housing.
Your attitude. You're okay. James Hillman wrote the book, The Soul's Code, In Search of Character and Calling. Everybody needs to find out why they're here. And, okay, you know, what's your purpose? Your intentionality is the bottom line.
Right.
In other words, okay, that's why Crowley said, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The love of the law, love under will. The purpose of love is to help people until it detracts you from your highest love, which is your purpose.
Oh, okay. So now I'm getting it. Now I just had this flash when you said, do what you will from Aleister Crowley. And now I understand it because I have a similar thing, and I call it, I'm going to give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Intentionality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
why are you doing it for?
Yeah.
You're being evil, and it'll come back and bite you in the ass.
But I mean, that's the same thing. Do what you will, and then I'm going to know who you are.
There's voice of reason and voice of coyote.
Okay.
And actually, when you're voice of reason, you're inside the box. You're feeling safe and comfortable and in control.
Okay.
But voice of coyote would suggest to you, well, you can step out for a minute. You know, just step outside the box for a second. When you do that, you have doubt, and it's when doubt occurs is where really change occurs. So, in fact, voice of coyote is as important as voice of reason.
Right.
In fact,
if we want to change, because
that's a given.
Because
you are going to
change comes through catastrophe.
Yeah, you need to step out of your comfort zone for a moment and realize that in order for you to make this change that's going to be forced on you shortly, that you can do it kicking and screaming, or you can do it as a willing participant, and the intent is what makes it a smooth ride. Okay. You know, like that Mars movie when the guy takes off and have a good ride. There was a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not locked into a lot of movies.
I see. I use them as a visual metaphor because I'm visual.
Okay, I'm imagining a guy's flying into the universe.
Well, what happens is they go to Mars, they find the spaceship waiting for them that were designed by the aliens that made man, and here's the box to go to God. And the guy gets inside and off he goes, and the guy says, have a great ride.
Now I'm wondering, now you're bringing up aliens, I'm sorry to bring this up, I'm going to change the subject.
Okay.
But the reality is a lot of people on this planet, 2012, all these big changes, a lot of people think that now aliens are going to come down and either create a global war or they're going to save us and all this kind of thing. And you're working with the Navy, and remember he was a Navy SEAL, he worked in the higher levels of consciousness in the Navy Department, and I've talked to a lot of people that I know.
Sure.
You know a guy named John Craven?
Yes.
Okay, and I worked for him for years, and a very interesting character.
Yeah.
And he was in the Navy, did a lot of CIA stuff and all that kind of stuff.
He was down in Livermore,
Polaris.
I think.
He was more doing the Polaris nuclear submarine thing. But what I'm getting is there an untold story about aliens right now? Do you have any personal information about their reality?
Do aliens exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how could they not?
I understand that, but what's your take on it?
Carl Sagan put it most succinctly when he said they're from much further away and much closer than you could imagine.
Okay.
And right now, there are 4 mammals on this earth that are more evolved technically than man.
Then what are those 4 mammals?
Well, let's see. Orca has a cerebral cortex that's twice the size of man.
That's a killer whale.
And he's firing 60% of it, where man only enjoys 10. That means Orca is going places that man will never understand.
All right.
Okay, and then of
Now
course,
he gets a bad rap because we see him eating seals, right? And stuff, right?
tasty is the way
Tasty.
my girlfriend
Okay.
would put it. Tasty
All right.
seal. It's lower on the food chain.
I'm just saying, okay.
Well,
and
she
what-
has the lambs of God, and then
Right,
on the
right,
back
exactly.
so many meals, some
Exactly.
little
Okay,
things.
so what? Orca is one of the mammals. What's the next mammal?
Well, then the dolphin.
The dolphin.
Has when John Lilly was doing his studies, Carl Sagan brought me into his labs
Okay.
because I'm a language expert.
And John
you know,
Lilly wrote that great book. What was it? Some Kind of Conscience book.
Day
I
of the
remember.
Dolphin.
And he wrote another one. I remember I had. I forget.
Communications between man and dolphin.
So many he wrote.
etc.
Mind of the dolphin.
Okay.
Okay, but basically, I was there only 10 days when I realized that the language of clicks and whistles that the dolphin were using was a form of Clifford algebra, it was dimensional math. They had a redundancy coefficient in their language that was 10 times more efficient than Hebrew. Okay, now it's better. So then we observed that the dolphin is blowing little tiny, with sonar, little tiny bubbles. It's called sonoluminescence.
Okay.
They blow them into shapes, and just before they break the surface, they pop into white light, which is a form of cold fusion.
Wow.
And MIT has only just this last year duplicated that thing. Now that's their art form.
So what's
Then
our
there's
effect? We have dolphins here on our coast, and I know every now and then I'll be swimming, and all of a sudden a pot of dolphins will come by me, you know. And it's
What
really,
a
and I feel energized by it. And there's a lot of people that it's become their religion. Is there an effect?
Well,
that
Navy
dolphins
sent
can
me
have
in
for us?
to see if we could use the dolphin as a weapon.
Oh,
That was one of the things
cool.
I did.
Okay.
Well, yes. Well, no, not cool.
No, I was facetious.
But
Yeah.
I suggested to my, the person I reported to, Dr. Carl Schleicher, I said, how can you coerce God into doing your bidding?
Okay.
Well, the dolphin are more evolved technically than man, which means that it isn't us controlling them. That's a fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's fantasy. It's not real.
Okay.
In fact, what I am, and I'm going to do this as a metaphor, is I am basically a 4-year-old that never became 7. In terms of the way my mind works, I'm still 4 years old, where most people are institutionalized into thinking a different way like an adult. And dolphin, even the older dolphin, because I worked at Dolphins Plus, with Cosmo and several others in Key Largo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Flipper.
Dolphins Plus is a rehab place
Okay.
for dolphin. And I went in there, and I'm in the presence of entities that are more intelligent than I am.
That's the feeling I get when
No,
I'm
no, no.
swimming
It's
in the ocean. It's
and
an amazing feeling.
but they're not adults. They don't act like adults
No,
like
they don't.
we do.
They have
like
that
you
gleam
do.
in their eye. They
Well,
have that
they're
gleam in
lab.
their eye.
They're like children,
Yeah.
and their mentat or way of being
It's childlike.
is more childlike,
Right.
not childish,
Right.
childlike.
Right.
And you will find that your children, the younger, are brilliant. They're like, and that something happened to me in my wiring where I did not get rewired at age 7, and so my mind is like a 4-year-old, except I'm real old, which means I've got a large body of.
Right.
Want to see my toy truck?
I used to think, because I can remember a moment when I was about 6 or 7, looking in the mirror and realizing that I knew who I was, and I feel like I'm exactly the same
Self-realization.
person. I feel like I'm the same person that was looking in the
Here's
mirror.
the bad
when I
news
was like
on
6
that,
or 7
just to
years
give
old.
you
Yeah.
perspective.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so we're on the physical level, and your higher self, your 9/10 of your cerebral cortex,
Yeah, well, God,
your
whatever. Yeah, godlike,
okay,
yeah.
your angel is emotional. It's trying to talk to you and communicate to you using emotions, not symbols. Not like an elephant in my dream
Gotcha.
doesn't. Okay, it's how you
it's a whole
felt about
thing.
it.
It's a
Right,
whole
right,
thing.
right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that.
the whole
And then there's intellectual, archetypal. There's 6 more levels all the way up there until you become God.
Okay, well.
And man is still hung out here at the
Pretty
physical
much.
level, trying to talk to himself
Yeah.
emotionally.
That's the chakra thing,
Okay.
too, people talk about.
Well,
Moving
it'd be
up-
like
moving up
looking
the
at my
chakra
daughter, for example,
Yeah.
as not real,
Okay.
but the younger feminine part of myself that I'm dialoguing with in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that
Explain that
none
again.
of this is real.
None of
And what I
realize
am
that.
is just a wise old man reflecting your own knowledge into your mind as this is the moment, and that's how hallucinating you are. Actually, we're all of us crazy. We don't have a clue how little we know of what's really going on here.
Sure.
And there was one group of aliens that were studying us. Couldn't imagine how we could exist and evolve when
wait a second.
the different
One group of aliens studying us. That means you have physical, personal experience of entities, physical entities from another planet that have been studying us. You've had that experience.
Yes and no. I don't know if they're from a planet or from time.
Or they could be in another wave.
Coming in and slumming down here in force space.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay, they could be slumming in force space.
It could just be just an alternate reality that's just vibrating at a different
There's
rate.
no question.
Okay.
I've looked at artifacts.
Okay.
But where I was going with
Okay.
you tangented me.
Yeah.
Could you cue me back up on because I had a point I was trying to make.
Aliens. Yeah, the aliens that are studying us.
This one group, they could not imagine how we could exist as a life form when the difference between being normal and psychotic could be measured in micrograms.
Right, we're on the edge.
I mean, really, this is a pretty...
I know.
Okay.
Which is the problem with psychoactive drugs, because you get these really normal people like you or something, and you give them... I'm almost afraid of seeing you high. And you'd be like, whoa, what is going to happen?
You know what that's in? Is Batman when the Joker said, when are they going to load him in? Yeah. Really? Okay.
No,
with that said, there is something more going on here that even people like me don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. It's like we're both of us in 4th grade, and I can run across the playground a little faster than you, but you have your own thing that you do in 4th grade, and there's still, high school, graduate school.
I agree.
Okay, there's things going on that we don't even understand.
And those pretty girls in the 5th grade.
Well, that's right. Yeah. But now, if you thought of the brain being this big crystal on top of an antenna, your body, then because it's 4-dimensional hologram of 5 space, that means
5 space. Now, when you say 5 space, what do you mean?
All possible realities.
Okay, so you're talking about everything just mishmashed
where you have a beard, where you have a goatee, but not the whiskers, and all of these.
So you perceive time as one big plunk, and we're just kind of replaying it.
That's 4 space.
That's 4 space.
Then 5 space is sliders, where you have possible alternative realities or storylines that could be doing different things.
Right. Oh, is that like you're driving down the street and you feel like I should have crashed the car, but I didn't, and all of a sudden I'm better again because I maybe slipped into an alternate reality?
Most likely, what's happening is that you are. I don't know how to say this. I'm losing my thought. Well, it's a difficult thing. It's like you can. I completely lost my thought. I was trying to.
Get high. No. It's moving through the realities. The conscious moving.
The thing is,
realities,
the reason that we're all enjoying a similar movie, which I would call Horror on Elm Street.
Okay.
I mean, the
time
reality,
as we see it. Beginning and ending.
Life as we experience it, and we both mutually agree this is the way it is with Obama and Olivia.
I get it. Right.
Okay, it's Horror on Elm Street. You, by learning how to meditate, or using brain drivers, or continuous breathing techniques, can go to other altered states, not just this one right here,
right, I understand.
but one over here.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is that magic is an art form. It is like sculpting or painting. It is the art of changing consciousness at will. And that what we need to do now is begin to explore all of these different altered states and why they're there as a place where you can do something that you can't do here. Okay. And what you do is you slide from one to the other, and like with your brain, you go to a different place in the brain, and you, like meditational place, which is more bliss state.
I'm a mystic man.
Such a mystic man.
I'm just a mystic man.
Mystic man.
I'm unknown.
I'm unknown.
I don't drink no champagne.